Welcome to another installment of Grass-Fed Ginger's 5-Minute Happy Hour with your certified nutritionists and hosts, Adrienne Klein and Renee Dubois, featuring wine, amusement, shenanigans, and possibly some nutrition.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Grass-Fed Ginger's 5-Minute Happy Hour. Today, we are not going to play a game, but we are going to share some Big Pharma facts with you. So, hello, Big Pharma. Hello, Adrienne.
Hi. So we have some wine that we should share with everybody. We have the Garnacha Blanca. Again, this is organic and clean crafted and biodynamic farming. We do have this wine available for purchase. There will be a link in the comments below, not the comments, but the little description area that you can drink along with us. And again, if you're going to eat clean, you got to drink clean too. What are we talking about, Big Pharma people?
Big Pharma. So, what is Big Pharma, you ask?
That is what I ask.
Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
It's a collective term to describe all the world's largest publicly traded pharmaceutical companies.
We've got Johnson & Johnson. I'm just going to read. There's like a lot, but I'm going to read like the top 5. Novartis, Pfizer, Merck, Bayer, AstraZeneca, so many. Those are huge. Those are just big conglomerates of Big Pharma.
They are. So let's go through like 6 facts on Big Pharma. And the first one is Big Pharma spends crazy amounts on advertising. And there was a study done by Canta Medical or Canta Media.
Mm-hmm. Media.
And it was, a pharmaceutical ad spending. And they spent $4.53 billion in 2014, which was up 18%.
And I think like every year it's up 18%. So, and that was 2014, and we're already in 2019.
And Pfizer spent $1.4 billion that year, but the Cialis, the erectile dysfunction drug, they spent quite a bit that year as well. And advertising like it's like 272 million, I believe.
So, and let's make this very clear. Like when we're using those numbers, that is your money. That is your money that you're spending to pay for your medicine. And then that is their money that they then are using to advertise. So it's not like some magical number that they get from the government or just like, oh, yay, someone gave us this money, so now we can advertise. Like they are using billions of dollars to advertise. And that comes from the business of selling their medicine.
I was reading that over 30% of the money that they spend in a year is spent on advertising alone. 30%. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Number 2, Big Pharma is home to some of the highest profit margins. So this is 2013 Forbes. They did a comparison of profit margins in the 5 primary industries. They got pharmaceuticals tied with banks for the highest average profit margin at 19%. It's
crazy.
Yeah, this was well ahead of the average profit margins for like meaty stocks and oil and gas companies. Like, we always talk about like, oh, the gas companies, they have such huge profits and why do they charge so much for gas? Like, why aren't we asking those questions about the pharmaceutical industry as well?
Yeah. Oh, it's so true because it's a lot of money that's spent and we rely on those drugs, but they're not yet making us any healthier. Big Pharma gets fined quite often. And they've had a lot of stuff happening over the years. And in 2012, GlaxoSmithKline agreed to a whopping $3 billion fine and pled guilty to criminal charges, knowingly promoting some of the top-selling antidepressant drugs like Paxil, Wellbutrin to people under the age of 18, which is not...
I mean, they're just shoddy all the way around, right? Yeah. It's all about... It feels like when you read stuff like that, it's all about the bottom line. I know that they do invest, and I don't know the percentage, they do invest their earnings also back into, development and research as they should. But they're spending a lot of money to advertise, and then sometimes they're advertising what I consider, being shoddy and just doing it for money.
Yeah, it would be nice if they are investing their money in finding new cures for the stuff that's happening now instead of just advertising and advertising and advertising and being able to help people in different countries and different things. Since these are all over the world,
Yep.
right? Pharmaceuticals are all over the world, and there's
Yeah.
a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it takes money to do that.
Well, I think that they have a lot of money because they're number one tying with banks. So they have the money. They're just choosing not to do good with it. Okay, so number 4, a big pharma rebrands their products all the time. So this is, I thought, was interesting information. For example, Seraphim was marketed to treat premenstrual symptoms along with panic attacks and mood swings. Seraphim is Prozac. That was repackaged and rebranded to appeal to a larger market.
Women.
With money, right? Like larger market means more people means more money, right?
Yeah, so they're really just taking Prozac.
Yeah, and just said like, oh, you have premenstrual issues? Like, let's take this. So GlaxoSmithKline back in 1997 did the same thing with Wellbutrin and rebranded as Zyban. And they do this all the time. It happens all the time. We just aren't aware of it because they don't want us to be.
No. And really, they're saving themselves money because they're not having to come up with a new product. They're just reinventing an old product and changing the name and popping it into their advertising. So, number 5. Okay. So we are the 3rd largest country in the world, right? Yet the United States ranks 36 out of 36 of being one of the sickest countries in the world. We're dead last with Serbia.
Yeah. Did you, when you were looking up that fact, did you happen to see who was number 1?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'd be interested to see who's number 1, and try to figure out like, hey, how can we model that?
So I don't know that we'll ever be able to model that until minds are changed.
Yes, minds are changed. I mean, our priorities need to be different. And, we live in a capitalistic, I use air quotes, economy. And so when the bottom line is, the winner of them all, everything else takes a backseat. So we are on the bonus one. Not all clinical trials are published. So pharmaceutical companies, they can be really selective about which information they release and what they don't. For example, the drug Paxil, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, used in the treatment of depression and anxiety. And GlaxoSmithKline kept the results of certain clinical trials of Paxil away from the public because the data proved that it is less than effective in children and teens.
This is the suicide one, isn't it? The rates were higher and they didn't put that in the document, and the teens and the kids had suicidal tendencies and they didn't want that out there, so they didn't put it in that article.
And then the doctors prescribed it, and
a lot of issues.
All the good, and a lot of bad stuff happened, unfortunately.
Okay.
Money becomes more important than our kids, and
it does, and then we become guinea pigs. Yeah. So, on that note, okay, we talked about some facts about Big Pharma. I kind of wanted to leave on a happy note because I think there's a lot that you can do to get yourself well. And so, we talk about health all the time, but some conversations that should be being had is, when can I get off this medication with your doctor? And so I just came up with a couple things to just kind of put in your head to get you going in that direction. And that's to drink half your body weight in ounces in water every day, clean water, exercise daily, manage your stress. And we've got some stuff over on our podcast to help you manage stress, and take time for yourself. Eat a whole, real food, raw food diet. Limit your toxin exposure.
Did you say raw food?
Raw food.
Okay.
Salads, veggies, fruits. Okay. Get appropriate sun exposure. Consume healthy fat. Your brain needs it. Optimize your insulin and your leptin levels, and get plenty of sleep every night.
I also want to add in there too, if you're having the conversation with your doctor and you say, okay, we're going to try this medication, but how long am I going to be on it, and what is the protocol for getting me off of it? And if
Every medication should have that conversation. You're absolutely right.
yes, and if they can't answer that, do not go on the medication. Seek a second opinion, because if they can't answer that, that means that they don't have experience in getting people off of this medication, whatever it might be. So please do your homework. Please do your research. Just don't blindly take medications just because one doctor said it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So be sure to click the link below. Check out the wines like this. And until next time, we will see you then.
All right. Next time. Bye.